Hello everybody, this is the Rabid Hedgehog, and we are out here at Shawnee, Oklahoma at Sehorn Yamaha for the Yamaha Ride event. And today I am taking out the Yamaha 2016 XSR900 out for a ride. This is one of their classic standard bikes. And we're getting ready to roll here. As you can see, very easy to read digital dashboard. You got your modes clearly stated there. We can go mode A, standard, and B. And mode A is aggressive, B is more of a rain mode, standard is kind of your basic mode. I'm going to put it in A for aggressive. On your right side, you have the starter switch, which actually is all one unit. You pull all the way down to start, hazard switch, and mode switch. On the left is your traction control systems. You got 3 modes. You got 1, 2, and off. Let's see. Oh wow, a little jolt from the brake was already good enough to tell me that these are going to be extremely good brakes. At any rate, okay, back to this. Like I said, traction control modes right there, bright selection, also horn, and your turn signals flash to pass. Everything is digital on this thing: tachometer, speedometer, fuel, everything. Also, you have traction control light, you have ABS, you have your service engine, coolant light, and your oil, and your 2-directional, and also neutral and flash to pass. Down here, when you hit selection, you get air temperature, water temperature, looks like average speed, and your trip odometers. There's 2 of them, and regular. Alright, and here we go. There's an XS in front of me as well. Very good looking bike, I might add. This is a 900. Okay. Oop. Trying to figure out what he's doing in front of me here. This is a standard seating position. That's FreeSpiritPhils. Alright, if you don't know who FreeSpiritPhils is, go check out his channel. Kind of a newer vlogger to Oklahoma. He's actually originally from Alaska and just moved into the area. Wow, this thing is ready for play. I'm just in first. I don't see a need for any other gear at the moment. Dang, this thing's powerful. I'll go ahead and shift. Golly, this thing is incredibly powerful and smooth. Wow. Of course, I am in A mode, so it's the most aggressive mode they've got, but unbelievable. Here, I'll stick it in B mode here. Alright, let's see what we do this time. Oh yeah, that does tone it down quite a bit. This is more of that rain mode they're talking about, so it's not going to be as snappy, but it's still pretty good. I'm only in 3rd gear. I don't need any other gear right now. It's incredible. Mirrors on this are pretty good. They are a little narrow. I haven't been able to get it to where I can get past my elbows, but I can still see behind me pretty decently. But yeah, this is a very nice standard riding position. It doesn't have you too aggressive at all. You're very much well sitting straight up. You can see my arms are actually not straight out. They are pretty bent. Let's see, engine braking is marginal. It's good, but not the best, at least in B mode. I'll switch it back here in a moment. Okay, they're just gonna sit there. Okay. This thing is incredibly smooth. This triple engine, triple 900. And the suspension is really well balanced. Very quiet bike though, not the loudest. Some broken road there, I'll let him get by there. Transmission's extremely smooth on this bike. You can see going over this broken road, no, that it's not a harsh suspension at all. It handles it really well. Brakes are very grabby on the front end of this thing. The back brake is very smooth though, but the front brake, expect it to grab really well. Yeah, this bike is incredible. Love the way it feels. The chassis is so tight. I mean, it's just like, feels so planted. I mean, you barely have to twitch and it's going to respond to you. I know I'm in a group ride and I really can't do too much with it, but it's phenomenal how well this thing responds. Just switched it to standard mode now. Throttle response is a little bit more one-to-one. Where you do any sort of twitching like that, you can feel it. It's amazing. Very good feeling bike. Now this is a first model year bike for this one, and it's considered, like I said, one of Yamaha's kind of a classic line that they have going on now with the SR900, this bike, and a couple of other classic sport styles. Yeah, this thing grabs really good on the front. It's a strong bite. And engine braking, like I said, very marginal. It's not the strongest. Dang, this thing pulls so well. It's amazing how well this thing pulls. Everything is so readable. I know it's a little cloudy today, but it is a backlit LCD screen and it looks very good. You see the gear indicator really well. You can see you're riding eco. You could, I mean, you could just look down and just see everything on the fly where you are. I mean, it's really well laid out. This thing feels superb. I mean, dang. I got a lot of praise for this bike. Yeah, it turns very well. Everybody's going a little slow for me though, but this bike can tear this corner apart. You can just feel it wanting to go over more. Very nicely balanced. I'm just impressed with this bike. I mean, you normally you could be on a bike, like say like a Harley Sportster or a bike like that. You can always feel it wanting to drop to one end or the other because of some weight distribution, but this one is perfectly packaged. Perfectly packaged. Boy, these front brakes grab though, and I mean they grab. Take off on him, but This thing just pulls and pulls and pulls and pulls. Such good power. I mean, such good power. Even in standard mode, it's such good power. I'll click it all the way to 6 just to cruise it. I mean, even in 6, it's got incredibly good pull. Even in 6th gear. I mean, it does really well. Shift it back down now. And I'm going to stick it back into A mode. It's so easy. It's on the fly. You just pull in the clutch and just go. And press button and you're on the fly. You're good to go. I mean, very easy. I mean, this thing just rides really freaking well. Wish I had a little bit more engine braking for situations like this. But other than that, I mean, that's the only complaint I have on it. I got a little bit of water on the outside here. God! In A mode, I mean, it's night and day. I mean, it's just like the throttle is so much more immediately opening. It's just phenomenally quick. And it's just amazing how much this thing snaps. You can feel the front wheel want to come up on it when you're in A mode for sure. I mean, it's just incredibly powerful. And I'll post all specs and everything of this bike down below in the description. But riding it around, and I mean, we've had a good ride. I had to cut a little bit of it out there because of a phone call that was random. But I mean, the bike looks great. I'll post some pictures of it here. The bike, it looks exceptionally well. I mean, it's very well packaged. You know, the build quality versus some of the other Yamahas is just astoundingly better. I don't know why it looks better. It just does. They packaged it really well. The only thing that's a little bit detracting is, if you can kind of see the one in front of me whenever we get up near it, is the bolt style stoplight, and then also the turn signals are the little ones like that one on that XSR9 there. So that's the only thing that the tracks on it. I wish they would have done was a little bit something more aggressive. I know they went with a more classic rear end versus the way they have that one packaged, but it you know, it could use a little bit more of a classic look in the background than what they did. I think they could have done a little bit different. But I mean, this thing is just phenomenally well done by Yamaha. I mean, I'm impressed with it by all means. I mean, I love Yamaha bikes except for the cruisers. I don't know why, I just don't like their cruisers that much. They just don't seem very well built, and a lot of things seem like afterthoughts. But when they put together a Sport Naked or a sport bike or the Tenere or their dual sports, they're just so well put together. They're like a whole other league versus their own cruisers. It's amazing, and this one is no exception to that rule. I mean, it's just finely balanced and just perfectly put together. I mean, everything feels great. The suspension, the way the mirrors are held on, the way, you know, it's just all the handlebars, the way they're set, the way everything's tucked in there. I mean, it just looks overall really well packaged. The tank and the brushed aluminum just looks fantastic. I know it's probably not really brushed aluminum, it's just assimilated, but I mean, it looks amazing the way they did everything. I like the single headlight in the front that's just the circle, you know, the round one. I mean, the way they did everything, the whole entire look of this bike is phenomenally well packaged, well done. I mean, you can one finger the clutch like that, if you can see, just one finger. I mean, it's amazing. They just put a lot of effort into this, and it's really well done. One thing I did notice, though, that I kind of will go touch on is like the brake is adjustable in terms of the distance. The clutch is not. So if you have a little bit further reach, and I have very large hands, you can see that I'm stretched out pretty far to get to the clutch. So if you have a smaller hand, that may need to be changed out where you can get an adjustable lever on there. But other than that, I mean, it's very well laid out ergonomically. It's a very well balanced chassis for everything. This could be like an everyday bike plus a track bike, the way it's just powered and balanced, and just the way it's built. It's quite amazing. I have a lot of words for it that I can't just describe how good it is. I really do like this XSR. Fantastic little bike. Over this railroad track here. That's not that bad at all. I mean, this thing is really well suspended. I mean, it's got, I don't know why, it just feels like it has more to offer than the GSXS 1000. It just feels like a better package. I don't know why. And I generally like Suzuki quite a bit more. But this one's pretty amazing. Good job, Yamaha. So when it comes down to it, yes, this is a Rabid Hedgehog approved bike. If you're looking for an amazingly put together, classic looking sport standard naked bike, perfect bike you can get here. And like I said, I'll post everything down in the description below, MSRP and all. That way we can discuss that in the comments. At any rate, this is the Rabid Hedgehog. If you have any more questions on the XSR900, leave them in the comments below. I'll be happy to get back with you. And if you have any other suggestions on things that you want me to review, definitely let me know. I try to get to them as best I can. It's kind of hard, some of the dealers I work with, but some of them are willing and able, and I'll go out there and play. Keep the shiny side up. Catch you on the next review.